I think you'll all agree that JT paints a very, very interesting portrait of AI and machine learning, and I think its impact in terms of its opportunity to impact in terms of our lifestyles, our jobs, etc. What I wanted to do was I really just wanted to spend a few minutes and I wanted to provide you with a lens around AI. We've heard so much about AI in the business environment with our speakers today. I wanted to just spend a little bit of time and focus on a critical topic, which is AI for good. In addition to being the director for SAIL and the program director for the BI&A program, I'm also a professor. And about 2 years ago, I created a course in cognitive systems. Cognitive systems in terms of helping students understand the potential of the technology and how it could be effectively applied. And it was a very interesting challenge because of the fact that you have students, especially here at Stevens, that are very technically adept. You have others that are very business focused. You have students that are in the middle in terms of their skill set and their capability. And in trying to expose students to this area, I was always at a loss to give them projects to work on. And as I said when I started the discussion this morning, I have a lot of students. Those students get the disciplinary knowledge, they get the skill set, but the real challenge is getting them the exposure to the problems that are out there and having them gain some confidence in regards to potential solutions that they can come up with to some of those problems. So we've all talked about this. I won't belabor the point. You know, we talked about AI. We talked about it from the standpoint of augmenting the intelligence of the individual. That individual might be in an area where they're doing a particular job function, and they, because of the amount of data that is available, they need to be able to effectively make decisions. They need to be able to effectively operate in this area. They are obviously limited. They daydream. Things come up. They forget to get back to things. You know, when you look at AI and how it's impacted being able to the Google self-driving car or any of these other things, AI is really great at being able to do some of the more routine activities that we grow tired of. But what humans are really good in, or good at, is insight. Being able to leverage the tool, whether it be in the case that we saw with Verisk or in Verizon or in any of these instances, being able to leverage the tool effectively, being able to help minimize the errors that one comes up against, and if done correctly, be able to filter bias, because not only are folks biased, but the data that we give our AI systems to train them, in many cases, can be biased as well, and we saw that. There were two interesting articles that I'll just bring to your attention. This one was from the Harvard Business Review. They really talked about how companies around the world are looking to leverage AI. They focused on areas like information technology and marketing. And you could see that obviously some of the big areas or big issues with respect to being able to monitor security intrusions, being able to effectively market to your customer base, were all of significant interest to the respondents to the survey. Also in the area of, or from MIT Sloan, there was also an article which really put into position, or perspective rather, this concept of augmented intelligence, being able to assist a human. What are the things that humans are good at? What are the things that computers are good at? How do you bring them together in an effective way and leverage them in an effective way in terms of dealing with the deluge of data that's out there? In terms of its impact, especially in the area of being able to monitor social media, being able to leverage social media to understand what individuals are saying about your company, whether there are potential cybersecurity threats that are out there. This just kind of gives you a quick snapshot of some companies that are looking to leverage this technology and being able to leverage it, or helping companies leverage it effectively. We talked about different aspects of this, but with respect to cognitive business, I think there are really two things that are important here. We've talked about its use in terms of better engaging customers, providing more effective or more efficient service and support activities, helping better operate your supply chain, being able to deal with talent management in organization, being able to facilitate compliance and risk, or in the area of product development or finance. So these are areas that are really looking to leverage augmented intelligence as it is packaged in the area of AI for solving specific business problems that they are dealing with. That's the first piece. The second piece is they're all team-based. And this is not an entity that really just sits with one individual. A data scientist might be working with a marketing team, a sales team, a manufacturing team, a supply chain team, right? They work as a unit together with different backgrounds and disciplines. And I think that's really a critical element here, and one that I took to heart when I thought about building a course in cognitive computing. How do I do this in a way that exposes students to the dynamics as to how this really gets applied and leveraged in organizations? So as I said before, I started this course 2 years ago. It is a seminar. It is open to students, whether they be computer science students, business students, graduate students, undergraduate students. So they're coming at this from a different level of skill and a different level of ability. I really focus on 4 key foundational elements. I spend time educating them around the deep QA architecture that was embodied in Watson, and the tool sets that are leveraged to be able to discover information in vast corpuses or repositories of data and information. I focus time on knowledge-based AI, building knowledge-based agents, whether it be a tool set that can be leveraged with Amazon Alexa, whether it be a tool set that can be leveraged with the Internet of Things, giving them that flavor. Deep learning, we focus in on convolutional neural networks, Google's TensorFlow, again, giving them an exposure to that technology. And then the last piece I focused in on is the area of analytics. And this is a really important area because cognitive analytics is kind of a shift in the way we do analysis. Often when we focus on using machine learning and using analytics, we're looking to find answers to questions, all right? And those answers are what a data scientist is spending a tremendous amount of time and effort trying to come up with. With cognitive analytics, we kind of shifted it. Having AI look at the data and surface for us what are the key hypotheses that you should be? What kinds of questions should you be asking around that data? And this has significant implications, whether it be in the way we do analytics, in the way we foster an environment to pursue hypotheses, pursue answers to critical business questions, and most importantly, being able to generate insight along those topic areas. So, as I said before, with respect to the course, the students coming into it, I need to frame them an area to delve into. After I've exposed them to the tools, the technologies, the theories, then I give them the marching orders as to think about how best to apply them. And within this context of cognitive computing for good, they focus on problems having to do with social services, public safety, the environment, agriculture, education, and health. Those tend to be the topic areas that they concentrate on. They work in teams, typically 2 to 3 students to a team. And again, there is diversity in the team in terms of background and experience. This kind of gives you an example of some of the projects from last semester. Being able to come up with a cognitive system that predicts the spread of dengue fever, leveraging the Internet of Things in your smartwatch and sensor to be able to put together a fitness assistant to help you achieve your fitness goals, being able to monitor the health Internet of Things capture of health data, monitoring it for you and giving you some insights. These are not earth-shaking problems, okay? But they are problems that give students an opportunity to apply what they learn. And that's really what the critical element is here. If students coming away from this have that exposure, have that experience, then they are well equipped to starting down the path to actually applying them and applying them well. I put into practice what we teach. One of the things that this was published last year with respect to myself and Dr. Storr and 2 of our students, Shrey and Lat Kumar, we built a deep QA agent which was an intelligent academic advisor. Now, that may or may not seem like much to you, but this was an opportunity to apply in our own problem space the things that students have been exposed to and learned about. And there was a selfish aspect to this, and it had to do with advising. I mentioned to you all that we've grown over the years, over the last couple of years, from 4 students to close to 300 students. Just this last semester, applications to the program are significant. We probably had close to 500 to 600 applications for a slot of 40 students coming in, okay? And guess what? Almost every single one of those applications comes with emails asking for information about the program. And guess who has to answer the emails? Me. Now, what we did was we built and trained utilizing Deep QA, utilizing the discovery and conversational agent component, a environment that essentially facilitates me being able to answer questions. Now, again, from a realistic standpoint, I might get 300 emails. You know what? They all ask the same 20 questions. They just never ask it the same way. So being able to engage and employ this technology just within this context has significant advantage. We put together a frame database of questions. We provided the effective training on the conversational agent. We ran it, and what we found was very interesting. In the beginning, it probably had about a 60 to 70% accuracy rate, but over time, it grew to close to over 95% in terms of being able to answer those questions. Now, we never took the human out of the loop, okay? So it wasn't until we actually had a high enough confidence level that you could then reply electronically or apply automatically to the student in terms of getting their, gauging their interest. So again, excellent opportunity, but it is just one step along the way. Because as we talked to what some of the speakers talked about earlier, part of the issue here is context, all right? A potential student interested in Stevens is a little different than a student that is here at Stevens. A student in his first semester, a student in his third semester, a student that has passed courses, has not passed courses, background, experience. So being able to incorporate that context enhances the ability of the advisor to provide advice and guidance, and as well as really help students get a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in this area. So again, a great opportunity to put in practice what we've done. I mentioned to you before the focus on some of the critical topics. We heard with respect to the Center for AI here at Stevens, as well as some of the research going on, a lot of the impact of AI in the area of healthcare and facilitating better healthcare. You saw some of those project areas. We had 2 hackathon winners, again, developing applications that can be effectively deployed. The first one really was of interest in that it helped match cancer patients to potential clinical trials, again, using discovery and a conversational agent. The second one there allowed for more effective search and retrieval of scientific information from PubMed. Again, very important component. The interesting thing about the hackathons, they're done over 3 days. First day, exposure to tool. Second day, exposure to problem. Third day, they come up with the solution. These 2 students were these 2 examples won these hackathons, and more importantly, for the Medibot assistant, they were actually employed by a startup company that wanted to leverage them to help develop an actual product that could be used. So again, opportunity for students to get that exposure is what really is important here. As you saw, or many of you may have saw on the table, we have examples of the kinds of projects students can do, whether they be in the area of data science, machine learning, business, marketing analytics, cognitive computing. And this kind of gives you an idea as to what students can do, what they can be involved with, and the kinds of contributions that they can make. And the important thing that I just wanted to stress for you all was just this fact that there is a tremendous opportunity as students, as Stevens, as SAIL engages with companies, engages with you to really provide opportunities for students to get firsthand exposure to the kinds of business problems, the kinds of issues that companies are dealing with, and in many cases, give you an opportunity as to the talent and the capabilities of these students that you might be interested in ultimately hiring into your organization. So that's really what the final message is in that kind of piece. So I'm going to stop there. I wanted to actually do 2 things. One, I wanted to thank all of our our speakers that took the time and effort out of their busy schedules to come and speak with us. Again, I wanted to thank all the speakers because you did take time out of your busy schedules to come and kind of give us your perspective. I wanted to thank Yoda and all of the students that have been really helpful in being able to coordinate these activities. This is not an easy task to do, and they've all done it. Everyone with a smile on their face, so I got it, I think that's excellent. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you for coming today, for really giving us an opportunity to show you more about SAIL, the School of Business, our students, the projects, as well as hopefully give you an opportunity to get a little bit more perspective as to what we're doing. Now, two things. One, we have a reception outside, so please, if you can, please attend the reception. If you have an opportunity to talk to some of the speakers or ask questions, that would be great. And the second thing is exactly what I said the first time we got introduced. There is a questionnaire in your packet. Please fill out the questionnaire. Your input is very valuable to us, and that would be really, really great. Okay? And you can give it to the girls. Thank you.